For the second match, Southridge versus Ateneo, Ateneo will be arguing Gov, and Southridge will be arguing opposition.
So, for example, they have to shoot.
We think that for too long, the Philippine judiciary has allowed itself to be clogged and inefficient with technical matters regarding constitutional law. We want to change this today, and will establish constitutional courts to do this under 5 prongs. Firstly, constitutional courts will exist as specialized courts, similar to family courts. But whereas family courts have exclusive jurisdiction over cases involving custody, adoption, and nullity of marriage, constitutional courts will have exclusive jurisdiction pertaining to the constitutionality of all statutes passed by Congress, administrative rules, and regulations enacted by the executive branch, and its instrumentalities like the LTO and BIR and all other official acts.
But do constitutional issues have to be resolved in order to better assess the main issue?
Yes.
Do courts in status quo do this at the same time, as in one court only?
Yes.
Can decisions be raised to higher and multiple courts, thus lengthening the time?
It will be raised
But
higher
does
courts.
it lengthen the time?
Not necessarily.
Sir, sir, then it means you're contradicting yourself.
Here, here.
Because, sir, if it's going to have to go through multiple courts, that means it extends its lifetime. That means it extends the lifetime of a case, and there's no expedience in jurisprudence. Fine.
Unlike opposition, we will be more realistic and dynamic. Because coming from what we got from leader of opposition, their only clash is that our problem doesn't exist. Let's clarify to improve this debate. We told you that the Supreme Court can still serve as a check and balance. That's why we said that they'd be included in the process of appointment. But lastly, on the issue of politicization, no thank you, the safeguards leader of opposition was talking about are already subsumed by ours. Because we already stated from the get-go that we're going to include all of the branches in the process of appointment.
Sir, are the Supreme Court justices competent? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are they aware of the Constitution?
Yes, of course.
Are they at least educated about the details and how to interpret the Constitution? Yes or no?
Yes, but not in a specialized level.
We say that if these justices, if the best justices in our land is the best, if the best judges, the Supreme Court, are not able to interpret the Constitution like what he says, we say that who gives the right of these constitutional courts to actually interpret these courts? Wait. Because we say that
Sir, are you arguing in your interpolation?
In your standard, do they have to first of all?
Can the lower levels of the court actually have the power to judicial review? Because of my knowledge and what our team has consistently been saying, judicial review only belongs to the Supreme Court. Am I correct?
Wait, what's your question?
Judicial review can only be done by the Supreme Court.
No, all courts are constitutional courts. That's why you don't call the Supreme Court the Constitutional Court. You call it the Supreme Court because it's the same as any other court, but more powerful and higher. It doesn't preside over any special things.
The winner by unanimous decision, the first team going to the grand finals of the first Chief Justice Cup is the team from Loyola, Ateneo High School. And for the third division room,
Let's go.
Congrats, Mr. Ventura. Congrats, Mr. Pablo. Congrats, Mr. Soriano.
Thank you.
all please rise.
Are you one of the debaters?
No, I'm the brother of Tala. I'm the brother of Tala.
So who are you debating with?
We will start with the day, and the topic is this House believes that a Supreme Court justice must make public his or her political and ideological views prior to their assumption into office.
Sir, are you allowing the public to know of persons' political beliefs and ideologies?
Yes, we allow it,
Sir, wait, thank you. Does it allow people to scrutinize judges on those beliefs?
Yes.
Sir, can judges be influenced as human beings?
No.
Sir, that's absurd because human beings can easily be influenced. But assuming you said yes, then sir, that means you're contradicting your support of people not being discriminated. Because in that proposal of yours, you're going to allow people to be discriminated on their political ideologies, whether they be capitalist or democratic or conservative or whatnot.
Madam Chair, as leader of opposition, we want to make it very clear from the beginning. We're going to be defending status quo, wherein individuals who apply for nomination into the Supreme Court need not reveal their biases and ideologies. Instead, we wish to defend the people who be appointed not for what they believe, but for the competence they can bring to the Supreme Court. This means that they will be maintaining strict standards that all candidates must meet, such as expertise and competence in law, a minimum of having practiced law for 15 years, and so on.
Good afternoon, sir. Isn't it in the wording of the motion prior to the assumption into the office?
Yes.
So, sir, you're contradictory to what your side was saying earlier when you said that they're already appointed into office or that they're already serving their term when their views are publicized. Isn't it that the views are publicized before their assumption into office?
First, let's make it public. This is not a proposal debate, it's a value judgment debate. And
Yes, sir, but you still said...
Okay, I'm going to explain that. Well, first of all, of course we're saying they're not going to actually do any trials without giving out their ideologies, but they're already chosen. They're no longer forced to give like 5 people or forced to give it. Then you have to choose between those ideologies. No, they're already chosen before that. And before they actually do the job, that's when they give out their ideologies, which is still in the spirit of the motion.
So, sir, it's still possible that they're affected by public pressure because they're not yet into the office. Therefore, it affects their future decisions. So our case stands, sir.
But we tell you that because the Supreme Court is a credible body, we can't contradict the judicial spirit that the Supreme Court stands for, and that is equality and impartiality. Therefore, the standards of appointing its judges cannot be subjective standards. They cannot be the standards based on political and ideological views. They have to be the standards of objectiveness, which is what opposition is forwarding.
Therefore, what they're doing is they're trying to box in these individuals who have been appointed to say that this guy believes in this, therefore he's only going to approve laws which support his beliefs. And because they are going to be limited in this way, you, the public, can in fact determine whether or not they will assume office. And we say that we don't want to put the decision of having the best justices in the Supreme Court up to the tyranny of the majority, up to the people who can rally on the streets. We want to stick to the democratic processes of having equal representation through systematic democracy. We have that through the JBC. The JBC has representatives from the Congress, has representatives from the private sector, has representatives from the judiciary. If you want diversity, if you want the voice of the people, we say you want to quantify that on democratic basis, not on what you see on the streets.
Alright. And now for the best speakers. Ranking 7th from the Ateneo de Manila High School, Mr. Vincent Soriano.
Madam Chair, I don't really know where to start anymore because just from the interpellation alone a few seconds ago, the whole opposition side conceded that we are as competent as they are, and they conceded that we're even more expedient. So we don't really see why, we don't really see the value coming from this opposition side if they already say we're as competent as they are, and if they already concede that we're more expedient in this competence. But on top of this, I could say that they lost this debate in 3 words. Failed burden push.
From the Ateneo de Manila High School, ranking 6th, Mr. Xavier.
The role of Congress is to formulate laws that will serve the public good, right? The problem is that Congress never unanimously agrees on laws. There will be the majority that will try to pass the bill they want for social progress, while a small minority will have their own interests and try to block the law using the current judicial process that they're forwarding.
In the choice of the champion team, the group is unanimous. No question about it. And we award this to, let me hold your breath. I will first award the best speaker. Okay? Now, the best speaker also, the five of us decided unanimously. No question about it too. And the best speaker for the finals is Mr. Xavier Pablo.
If the court loses the people's confidence, you make the Supreme Court seem extremely inaccessible and unapproachable for most people. And people will no longer see the court as relevant to them. So in itself, you have a loss of initiative. For example, if farmers find out that most Supreme Court justices are unwilling to assist them with issues regarding to land reform, firstly, they will choose to remain silent about their plight instead, because they will feel a sense of helplessness and feel that they will not be helped in court at all. This is an abrogation of the state's responsibility to assist the marginalized. We want people to come forward to us and file cases so we can have proper discourse in courts.
The decision on the champion team is unanimous, but it does not necessarily reflect the personal opinions of the adjudicators of the matter. And the champion is Ateneo.
We hope you had a marvelous time at this tournament and in the Supreme Court. We promise to give you another CJ Cup next year. To the champion, Ateneo de Manila University High School Department, and the runner-up, Xavier School, congratulations.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Dedicated to my great-grand lolo, who was acting Chief Justice before. So, yeah, I hope I did him proud. Yeah, so hard work. It works.
Very hard work.
Yeah.
He's never broken in any debate tournament. And then this tournament was his first break, and he goes all the way and wins. So.
Thank you, Ma.